I have a bonus video for you guys today, and that's because it's What's for Dinner Wednesday. What is up, you guys? My name is Kira if you are new, and I have a bonus video for you this week because you didn't think I would actually miss What's for Dinner Wednesday, did you? I love these videos. I love being able to capture a picture of my plate of what I'm sitting down to eat at night and being able to bring to life what you guys enjoy watching. You love my grocery hauls and you love when I share the meal plans, and you always ask to see what it actually looks like when I put the food together. So that's what I have for you guys today, a bunch of different clips to share with you, a wide variety of what my family of 6 eats for dinner. So come with me and let me walk you through what we've been enjoying for the last month. So we're starting out first with a house favorite, and that is Mississippi chicken. If you are not new here, you know that we eat this often. Every 6 weeks or so, I usually whip up a batch in the crock pot. I have an entire cooking video to share with you how to make this, so I'll link it up above for you. The actual recipe calls for pepperoncinis, but I didn't have any. I had banana peppers, and those worked out just the same. So if you ever want to make this dish, because there's also a roast form, you can do it with chicken thighs or you can do it with a roast. If you ever want to make it and you don't have pepperoncinis on hand, you can use the banana peppers. And normally I serve this over mashed potatoes, but this particular time I was just trying to watch my carbs. And so instead of doing it on mashed potatoes, I made myself a salad, and I just did the lettuce and cucumber and tomato, and then went and ladled the Mississippi chicken and all of the gravy that it comes with over the salad. And I know that might sound weird, but it was delicious and a really different way to eat something that we eat all of the time. So I know a bunch of you have tried the Mississippi chicken and love it, so make sure to check out that video. I know you will love it. It is super easy and super yummy, and trying it on a salad was definitely worth it. So you're probably going to notice throughout this video that I eat a lot of salad. I'll use that as a side dish replacement for everything that I'm making for everybody else, whether it's mashed potatoes or stuffing, french fries, mac and cheese. I always make myself a salad. And so here I have some romaine lettuce, some cherub tomatoes, some sliced cucumber, some craisins, some shredded cheese, and then I have that lemon poppy seed dressing that I got from Target that is super delicious. If you think you would like a light vinaigrette that has a lemony flavor, I would highly recommend trying that dressing. It's the Good and Gather brand from Target. It was so good. And then for the chicken, this was something a little bit different. So if you guys saw my last Trader Joe's haul, I got that onion and chive cream cheese, and I decided to just flatten out a piece of chicken cutlet. I smeared that onion and chive cream cheese on the chicken cutlet and I rolled it up. I dunked it in an egg bath and then rolled it in breadcrumbs and shredded cheese. I wrapped a slice of bacon around it and baked it in the oven, and then that's what you got right there. It was so easy, just a couple of steps, but the chicken was tender and it was super flavorful. The bacon and the cheese mixed with that cream cheese on the inside, it was really yummy. You guys don't even need a cooking video for that. It's those simple steps, super easy. But between that and the salad, this was a great meal. Now, this doesn't look like much, but let me tell you what a huge hit this was in our house. We've always done the KFC copycat chicken bowls where I've made mashed potatoes, corn, chicken nuggets, I've put out gravy, and then I'll put everything out and let everybody assemble their own KFC bowl. But I saw a recipe on Pinterest where you do the same thing, but you make it like a casserole. So I made mashed potatoes and layered it on the bottom of a 9x13. I I covered it with a layer of corn. I placed a layer of the chicken nuggets that I get from Costco, like the ones that are a Chick-fil-A dupe, but they're not as pickly as the one from Sam's Club. And then I put gravy on the top of it and then shredded cheese and baked it in the oven. And what a difference that was than just layering it in a bowl, because the oils from the chicken, now the chicken nuggets were already cooked, but when they heated up, all their oils dispersed and kind of went down into those mashed potatoes, and the gravy got hot and it melted down into the mashed potatoes, and the cheese oozed all over everything. And so all the flavors kind of mixed together, and it was totally different than just layering them. They all just kind of congealed, and all the oils and the flavors just went together so well that everybody talked about this casserole. Jake said it was one of the best things I ever made, and I literally just assembled regular things, but it was super, super easy, and that is a great dish that you guys can go to on a night when you don't have a whole lot of time to cook. Now, this was a little bit more time consuming, but actually not so bad. So our house was kind of craving Salisbury steak. My girlfriend Jill's son mentioned it on the phone that he was craving that. And I was like, I haven't made Salisbury steak in a really long time. So I actually looked for a recipe that I'll link down below for you guys that I found on Pinterest. But it was called the 20-minute Salisbury steak. And it was super easy. All the ingredients were things I already had in my house. I had some mushrooms on hand, so I made like a mushroom onion gravy to go over the top, and I just served it with some corn on the side. And then I also made Jen Chapin's cheesy hash browns as a side dish. You guys are going to see that in a future cooking video because I filmed how to assemble it, but it was such a great combination of flavors all together. That really cheesy, yummy hash browns with the nice hearty Salisbury steak and that like mushroomy kind of gravy, and then corn. It was yum, yum, yum. So next up is a super easy meal. I've been planning to do things with pork chops and that mango chutney that I got from Trader Joe's. So these were thin pork chops that I got from Costco, and I marinated them in that mango chutney, and then I just put them on a baking sheet and threw them in the oven at 350 for about 30 minutes. And because they were thin, they were cooked all the way through, but still super tender, which is rare for pork if you're not cooking it low and slow. We were almost able to cut it with a fork. So I thought that was great. I just served that with some broccoli on the side. And then I also made some of my creamy Parmesan orzo, which I love. It's a really yummy side dish, and I have a whole cooking video for that. So I'll go ahead and link that for you. It is, like I said, super simple, but just something different to spice up your side dish game. So here is a clip of a meal we just had this past week. This is the eggplant parmesan that I made, but I even spiced it up a little bit more and added a little bit of ricotta cheese to that just because I absolutely love ricotta. I can eat it on anything. I love it inside of raviolis. I love it on just pasta plain by itself. So I went ahead and sliced the eggplant about 3/4 of an inch, and then floured them, egg washed them, put some breadcrumbs on them, and fried them in a little bit of vegetable oil till they were good and crispy. I layered them in like a lasagna pan, like a 9x13. I put a layer of sauce on the top, then a layer of the ricotta, and then a layer of mozzarella, and then I repeated the same process, almost like making lasagna, but using the eggplant, and that was so good. I can't tell you how long it's been since I've had eggplant, so I'm so grateful to my husband for suggesting me to make it, because I probably haven't had it since I lived on Long Island, or I went to some kind of Italian function, where they served it. So I was really excited to eat it. Everybody else had chicken parm, which I do have a cooking video for, so I can link for you how to make my chicken parm, how to make my homemade sauce, which is something that I used here, but it was yummy. We served it with that bacon bourbon salad, and I will definitely call that meal for a win. So thank you to the Hubs. So here, you guys, is a clip of my plate from Mother's Day, which this is pretty much my idealistic meal. So I found really yummy ribeye steaks at Costco, and I knew that I was going to prepare them for Mother's Day. So I just used a little bit of the 21 seasoning salute that I get from Trader Joe's. It's a great seasoning for steak. I just put that on there, and we threw those on the grill. I love it. good and crispy on the outside, but like medium rare on the inside. So Daryl did a great job of cooking that up. We did some corn on the cob on the grill, and then I got the sea-pack coconut shrimp just so I can kind of simulate what I would get from a Red Lobster. And then I took some regular Pillsbury biscuits that I had in the fridge, and I stuffed them with cheese and then put that Chef Chamois garlic butter on them and baked them in the oven, just trying to make like those Cheddar Bay biscuits from the Red Lobster also. And it was the perfect meal for me, you guys. Like, this is, if I had to have the perfect meal, this is it. It's funny. This is probably going to end up being a clip that you guys see quite often, or at least the meat in this picture, because I just started cooking this just a couple of months back. It was so good that I filmed a cooking video on how to make them, so I'll link them up above for you. And now we've made them maybe once or twice since then because everybody loved them. So these are brown sugar and barbecue bacon chicken tenders. So it's just grilled chicken underneath that's been rolled in brown sugar and then rolled in bacon, topped with barbecue sauce and baked in the oven. And it is just so good that I haven't found a person in the house that doesn't want to eat the whole tray. So I just did that with some garlic and oil on some green beans, and then I wedged up some potatoes and roasted them in the oven at 450 degrees with a little bit of garlic and bacon grease and some seasonings. And it was seriously such a delicious dinner. This will be on repeat all the time. So this recipe is a recipe that I got out of a cookbook from the Dollar Tree, and it was either crock pot recipes or maybe it was like Ortega, Tex-Mex kind of recipes, but this is Fiesta Chicken, I think that it's called. It is seriously the easiest thing that you can do in the crock pot. So I just throw 4 chicken breasts into the crock pot. I use a liner. If you don't, I would just spray it down so nothing sticks, and then I throw a can of black beans in there. I throw a cup of chicken broth along with a cup of salsa and just let it cook low and slow for about 4 hours. And then once it's able to be shredded, I go ahead and pull it apart, and then I mix in a block of cream cheese and about a cup and a half, 2 cups of shredded cheese. And I just mix that all into the plate, and it makes this really creamy, delicious concoction that we either put on tacos, soft taco shells. What you guys see here is me doing it on top of nacho chips, which I absolutely love. Add a little bit of sour cream and green onion, and this easy and yummy and perfect for Taco Tuesday. So breakfast for dinner is another house favorite, but I like to switch it up a bit because we do it so often. So sometimes it'll be French toast, sometimes it's pancakes, sometimes it's waffles. On this day, it was sausage gravy and biscuits, which for us, we love that. I'm not a huge fan, but the rest of my family really loves it. And I have a recipe video where I share with you guys how I make my sausage gravy. So I can link that up above for you guys. I just made regular Grand's buttermilk biscuits. I made some ham, egg, and cheese scrambled eggs on the side, and we just had it with some grapes. But this is another meal that you could just go ahead and throw together in 20-30 minutes and be able to put something on the table that is hot and delicious and something that everybody loves, and it didn't take a whole lot of time. A couple of weeks back, we did a pizza and wings night. I love any kind of pizza and wings or appetizers. It's just, that's kind of my favorite food, like the munchy food, being able to pick on a variety of different things. And my husband and I used to run a pizzeria called Stoney's Wood-Fired Pizza. And one of their pizzas was this barbecue chicken pizza that I absolutely loved. And I try and make it all the time whenever we do any kind of flatbread pizza. So this is just flatbread with a little bit of barbecue sauce, some diced up chicken, and then Gouda cheese with mozzarella. You bake that in the oven with a little bit of red onion, and then when it comes out, you top it with cilantro. I know it sounds like a weird combination, but it is so, so good, especially dunked in my homemade ranch on the side. And then these wings I air fried, and my air fryer works so well. I have my air fryer linked in my Amazon store down below, but just makes the most crispiest, most delicious wings that you didn't have to fry. And then I make a sauce with hot sauce and honey. We went to a bar a while back and they called it the bee sting, and it is just so, so good. It's the little bit of heat, but then the sweet from the honey, and it is great on the wings. And then, of course, I just did it with a salad on the side. Everybody went to bed early that night. I actually shared myself eating this in a vlog where I just sat back and watched some Grey's Anatomy, but this, you guys, is probably one of my favorite meals. In my world, everything is all about compromise. So on this night, we were doing hot dogs and sausage on the grill. So these are the uncured hot dogs that I got from Trader Joe's. And then this is the Applewood smoked sausage that I get from Trader Joe's. But I skipped the bun. I'm not really one for like burger buns, or I love me some ciabatta bread, but with the exception of ciabatta, I'm not really one for like hot dog buns and hamburger buns and all of that. I'm fine with just cutting it up on the plate. And I made myself a side salad where I used my homemade croutons. So I still had a little bit of a carby element. I just had it in the croutons instead. And it's pretty much my base salad, which is lettuce, tomato, cucumber, some red onion, a little bit of shredded cheese, some croutons. Sometimes I'll do craisins and nuts, and then my choice of dressing. And on this day, I used the blue cheese dressing that I just shared with you guys that I made in meal prep. It's so good and so yummy and so easy. And that's what I had on top. And that was it for dinner on this night. Now, this plate was a lunch, and it's not even a full framed picture because it's a picture that I stole that I posted on my Instagram stories. But this is what I had for a lunch one day. And if I were to go home to New York, this would be my idealistic lunch. I love bagels from Long Island. I've worked in a couple of bagel stores. I've even joked in the past that if I were to have a dying meal request, it would be an egg everything bagel. Now, I can't get egg everything here, but Costco has really good bagels. I think they're the Einstein brand, they're called, and their everything is as close as I possibly can get to having one from Long Island. And my favorite thing is bacon with chicken salad or egg salad. Either one is fine, and some lettuce and tomato. A little bit of chips on the side. Yum, you guys. Bagels are so good for sandwiches. Are they great for the diet? No, but they are so good for a sandwich, especially a cold salad like that with something fresh like lettuce and tomato, and then the chips. Yes, I cannot wait to have that when I go back to Long Island this summer. One of the favorite recipes that I learned how to make from my mom is her stew. It just brings back so much nostalgic memories to me. My mom always made a stew for Halloween. It was always on the stove brewing. She called it her witch's brew, and I could still smell it to this day coming in whatever costume I was wearing, and my mom would have that stew on the stove. So I always make it during Halloween, but then I forget about it for the rest of the year. But I picked up some stew meat for a really great price, so I decided to make my mom's stew, and I had that fresh cheese, the Asiago and Parm cheese that I get from Trader Joe's that was perfect on top. That was the sourdough bread that I get from Costco. I just baked a loaf of that, and I had a slice of that with some butter on the side to dunk into the stew. I have my mom's recipe handwritten, so I'll make sure to include it in the description box if you guys want to try and make it. I love that her stew is red based. It's just a little bit different than the typical stew that you think about, but it is just so good and warm and cozy, and it's been nothing but rainy here, so this was a perfect meal. Matter of fact, we have leftovers of that I froze, and that'll be on the meal plan again for next week. Sometimes it's fancy meals, and then sometimes, you guys, it's chicken patties and french fries. But these are the chicken patties that I get from Walmart, and I decided to kind of change it up a little bit. So I took my chicken patty and I dunked it in hot sauce, and I put it on a hamburger bun. I did end up taking most of the bun and tossing it and just eating the patty, but I melted some provolone on top of that, and then also used that blue cheese dressing. I made like a buffalo chicken sandwich. Totally different than just a regular chicken sandwich, but perfect to just have for an easy dinner night. And then I also made some poutine. So that right there is the handsome cut fries from Trader Joe's, one of the poutine gravy packets that my friend Vanessa over at Vanessa White Randomness sent to me, and then some cheese curd that I get from Target, just kind of melted over the top. And it's like a cheese fry, but different because of the gravy, and the cheese curd melts different than any other kind of cheese. I don't know. My husband turned me on to this poutine, and I don't think it will ever go back. So last but not least, I am leaving off with the meal that we're actually having for dinner the night that you guys are seeing this. And this is our homemade Chinese takeout night. We love Chinese food here, but you know, for a family of 6 to each get a meal, it can get costly. So I love to recreate it at home, and I use the Trader Joe's orange chicken as the base of our meal, but then whenever we do pork chops, I always save some on the side when I'm portioning them out, and I defrost it, and now I'm going to do a huge batch of pork fried rice, and then I do egg rolls and broccoli on the side, and we serve it with duck sauce, and this way we get a wide variety of different things that you would get from the takeout place, but we're not spending that huge amount of money. All right, you guys, but that is it for this time's What's for Dinner video. I know I've always said this in the past. I'm not like everybody else where I kind of break down and share with you guys step by step how I make everything, but I usually can point you in the right direction, and that's because I like to share with you so many dinners. I would have to do What's for Dinner videos like twice a week, or I would have to do one super long one every single week if I wanted to share with you all the things that I make, because I cook every single night. So if I want to share with you everything, snapping a picture of it and just being able to walk you through what I created always just seems to work better for me. And I hope that you guys enjoy it. And if you do, make sure to give this video a huge thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new. I do like to share these at least once a month, no matter what my schedule is here. I love you guys all so much, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye, guys.